Get ready to dive into an experience like no other. This video is part of a fascinating series where we will reveal impactful excerpts from intimate conversations between starseeds incarnated on Earth and their cosmic families beyond our world. All of this takes place under the careful supervision and protection of spiritual guides. Beings of extremely high frequencies who, though not incarnated, watch over these special souls as guardians. In these encounters, we will explore the unexplored, revealing connections that challenge the boundaries of known reality. We do not seek to make you blindly believe in what you will see. Our mission is to share, and it is up to you and your free will to decide which pieces fit into your own puzzle of truth. Dare to discover what lies beyond the veil, and let your curiosity lead you to new dimensions of understanding. This is just the beginning of a journey that will change you forever. At the request of the protagonist of this story, and for the sake of discretion, we will refer to her as Christina. She is a woman living in Spain, a mother of 3 children, who from a young age faced challenges that shaped her strength and resilience. She married young, but her marriage fell apart due to her partner's difficulties, leaving her with the full responsibility of caring for her home and children. Years later, while her children were still teenagers, her husband passed away. Yet, Christina never gave up. Despite all the adversity, she moved forward, embraced life with courage, and today she is not only a mother, but also a grandmother of 2 beautiful grandchildren. Christina has chosen to share her story with us for a profound purpose: to offer her experience and connection with her stellar family as a guide and support for other starseeds who, like her, are seeking answers and clarity in advanced spiritual matters that few dare to speak about openly. As we always say, what is shared here are Christina's personal experiences, her reality. She shares it not to convince anyone, because at this level of information, it's not about belief or disbelief. We leave that to religions. Here, the focus is on each of us building our own puzzle of reality, fitting together the pieces that resonate within us. What doesn't fit, simply let it go and continue questioning, for that is the path to true self-discovery. It's important to note that this story recounts a private, personal communication between Christina and a being from the Karistus stellar family. We are not speaking on behalf of an entire stellar race, but rather sharing an individual experience. Even so, through this story, You will gain insight into how a Karistus thinks about certain aspects, how they distinguish themselves from other stellar races, and also what unites them in common essence. With her bravery and her desire to share, Christina opens a door for all those who feel connected to these topics to advance on their own path of self-knowledge and spiritual expansion. Spain, September 26, 2023.
My name is Darinael, and I belong to the stellar race known on Earth as Karistus. We are the guardians and inhabitants of Sun 13, of the star or planet Jupiter, as you know it, which has small moons that we also watch over and protect. The most advanced of these at the moment is Europa. Cobot is our main city, located both on our primary planet and one of our moons. Cobot is the place where all life is evaluated and organized. We are more than 3.5 million inhabitants, and many of us are on Earth. Some were here before, and many are here now. In my previous life, I was known among humans as Sarah, a rebellious woman who caused great commotion. I died on Earth and returned to my star or planet. I understand that everything happening on Earth has a purpose. However, as guardians of this quadrant, we cannot allow things to continue as they are. For this reason, we have decided to intervene more directly, incarnating as humans and doing what we do best, continuing to be ourselves without altering our essence. Our civilization could be defined as deeply spiritual. We consider ourselves the ancestors of many human-like races. We are as ancient as time itself, having always existed. There is no specific point where I can tell you when our race began, or how long we have been here. We have simply always been. Over time, many of us have evolved to the point where we are often perceived only as spheres of bright light or winged beings. We are Christic energy in its fullest potential. We are an energy that transforms, changes, and protects. However, this concept is not related to any religion imposed on Earth. We are separate from them, and in some ways, opposed to them. As many religions guide humans to absorb their power, distancing them from the very energy they themselves possess, to create change, to be guides, and to evolve toward a higher level of spirituality. To ease our path, we often incarnate on Earth as part of our growth process, because we wish to go further. We know there is no limit to the expansion of the soul, and we understand this clearly. We often occupy several bodies at the same time. We also understand many other temporal situations, or more difficult timelines. This does not stop us. We feel the responsibility to act, to intervene, both for ourselves and for others, and for the greater good of the evolution of the races we have chosen to protect. We not only watch over the Earth, but also over the 13 planets in this galactic system.
Hello, Darinael. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing this valuable information with me. So, as part of the Karistus race, is my body located on one of Jupiter's moons or on the planet itself? What is my purpose in all of this?
Before answering your question, it's important to clarify that our entry to Earth is different. We, as Karistus, handle energy in a much more advanced way than other stellar races. We can create a body from scratch, using our consciousness to manipulate energy. We have a deep control over it, which allows us to shape matter at will, without the need for technology, simply through the power of our consciousness. In your case, your body resides in Kobut. While your physical body remains here at rest, your consciousness manifests on Earth. Experiencing life as someone in this plane, many times when you dream, you return here. What you perceive as a thick white mist with flashes of bright light is, in fact, your return to this space, to the place where we Karistus dwell. Your original body is here, but your consciousness temporarily inhabits your human body. You may have felt in dreams that you were surrounded by a luminous mist, but this is not the entrance to paradise. Rather, you were traversing the density where we Karistus exist. You frequently move between planes, and during these moments, you access many levels of existence simultaneously. This is why, upon waking, you sometimes feel exhausted, as if you have been traveling in your dreams. We do not use the concepts of densities that are employed on Earth to measure levels of consciousness. However, to help you understand, I will say that from your perspective, we might be considered beings of 7th or 8th density. Although these terms are useful to give you an idea, they are quite limiting to us, as our understanding of consciousness transcends these categorizations. I only mention this so that you can have a reference regarding the level of consciousness you possess as a Karistus.
Since I've been on Earth, I've been receiving what seem to be messages or words repeatedly telling me, your life is going to change, your life is going to change. Then, about 3 years later, I felt as though they were saying, it's almost time. I have no idea what these messages were referring to or why I received them. Could you help me understand what they mean and what they are referring to?
Before giving you a concrete answer about the words that have come to you, I want to remind you that you are in a constant flow of energy, in a perpetual movement towards evolution. With every step you take, as you trust yourself more and listen to yourself more deeply, that energy within you grows and nourishes your being. The more you expand your consciousness, the closer you come to becoming what you long for. Many years ago, someone from our race appeared before you and told you they came from beyond this world. We always seek to communicate with those we care for. Perhaps, at this moment, the names they mentioned don't make much sense to you, but in time, they will. Just as Darinael and Jossier did when they appeared subtly in your life. Your life is already changing, even if you can't yet see it clearly. It's not that it will change, but that this change is happening right now, and it's your resistance to it that keeps you from fully seeing it. This isn't about external changes, the situations you live through, but something much deeper, an internal shift. This message is for you because the energy within you, the consciousness that dwells in you, is awakening. You will begin to see even more than you already do, but sometimes fear may cause you to resist this awakening. Do not be afraid. Don't fear the darkness, for it is a necessary part of the light. Without one, the other could not exist in a plane as dual as Earth. You don't need to run from anything, only stand firm and recognize your power. The power that resides in you cannot be measured or seen with human eyes, because it is far greater than what you think or imagine. It is Christic power. On Earth, people often speak of the Crystal, but there are few who have incarnated. Consider yourself one of them, taking a vacation, facing situations that, though familiar to your deeper self, feel strange and challenging in this body that does not recall all it has experienced. If these beings appeared to you, it is because they knew you had the strength to face it. Nothing that comes to you is beyond your reach. Everything that manifests in your life does so because you have already liberated a part of yourself that is capable of understanding it. Don't resist it, and don't try to comprehend it with the human mind, which is sometimes limited. Simply receive the information without resistance, without complications, knowing that you will always have the ability to integrate everything that comes to you. Your life changes the moment your consciousness expands, and that moment is now.
So that boy who appeared out of nowhere and disappeared in the same way many years ago, the one who told me he came from up there, is he one of the two you mentioned earlier? Could you tell me more about it?
He was one of ours, as I mentioned before. Many times we try to communicate with you down there, so you don't forget where you come from. According to the information I have, it was Darinael who descended. And he didn't only come down that one time. He has come down many times since. But he chose not to approach you again, fearing he might frighten you, as happened the last time. Sometimes, we naively believe that you will remember who we are the moment you see us, or when you receive even a glimpse of information. It was a very risky move on his part, because by doing so, he put you in a vulnerable position. You are in a human avatar, and suddenly awakening your consciousness could have been too overwhelming, perhaps even disturbing. Understanding this, he had to withdraw quickly to continue watching over you from above, guiding you from afar. Before we go any further, you need to understand that I'm not your only guardian or guide. There are several of us who are constantly observing and caring for you. You are not alone. Just like you, there are many others who work with this race, and many of us are always attentive to what happens. There are many beings like you who are already down on Earth. Some have lost their awareness and have become entangled in the corruption of the earthly world. However, many others remain steadfast in their essence, true to who they are and what they represent. The fact that some have mingled with corruption does not mean it is inherently bad. They are simply trying to understand it better. You cannot truly comprehend something unless you experience it firsthand. In the end, nothing is entirely good or bad. They are simply experiences.
Did Darinael want to convey an important message to me on that occasion, or did he just come to make sure I was okay?
His main concern was to make sure you were okay, with the hope that maybe you would remember him. That desperation many of us feel when we stand before someone we love deeply, wishing that through our presence, their memories might awaken. Even so, his message was delivered. He left you with that curiosity about beings beyond Earth, and in a way, he fulfilled his purpose. Without saying much, he achieved a lot.
Why do I feel as if I'm living in another body, as if I'm experiencing Earth through multiple lives or different bodies? Am I really living in other bodies at the same time, or is it just one? Could you tell me more about this?
On Earth, you are simply inhabiting this avatar, but also another one, which you could consider your soulmate. The reflection of your essence and memories. Both are one and the same at their core. You can see it as being in two different bodies, yet always the same being. Sometimes, you receive information from that other body, and you feel it, because in reality, they are two manifestations of the same consciousness. This is what we call absolute telepathy. And you understand it because you are that being, and that being is also a part of you.
Does it have anything to do with having been a twin? Or is it unrelated? And is that other being who is also me close to my life, to my surroundings?
It has nothing to do with it, as your twin, while living their own experience, has begun to subtly separate, thus creating their own consciousness. You've encountered each other several times, shared moments together, but right now your paths of evolution are different. That's why there will always be separations and reunions between beings. However, there is never a true separation. The soul often chooses to experience these distances. Remember, you are not just someone living in a body. You are also a consciousness in constant expansion, nourished by all the experiences you live, both in the body you inhabit now and in others. Every experience, every bitter or difficult step, ultimately becomes part of the infinite knowledge of a soul in its growth.
Did I enter this body at the moment of birth, or did I come later?
You entered that body when you were 4 years old, so you could say that you have experienced almost your entire life in it. You didn't arrive at birth, but at a very young age. Many people were amazed at how you acted and spoke, different from your brother and other children your age. You've always stood out from others because of your way of thinking and behaving. And also, when you said you saw something, no one could stop you, because you truly believed in what you were saying, and you never cared what others thought. Since you were little, you had the ability to see and speak with beings that were not in the physical plane. Sometimes, they called you imaginative, or even accused you of lying, but the truth is, you were seeing things others couldn't. Despite that, you always stayed true to yourself, and even with tears in your eyes, you stood by your truth, never letting what others said bother you. That is one of the differences that sets you apart. Your soul knows and deeply understands what conviction is, even if your physical body or human mind doesn't remember everything. Your inner being fully understands what happened to you before. We belong to a race that has been here since the beginning, with vast and deep knowledge. We can sense many things quickly, even though we are in bodies or avatars that, at times, may not be the most suitable for us.
We'll pause this conversation here so as not to make the video too long, but later on, we will share much more about this beautiful communication between Cristina and Darinael. Cristina has promised to reveal more information about her race, about them, and about us. and we will be happy to share it with you. As you've seen and heard, Starseeds are never alone. They have their guides, guardians, and stellar family accompanying them every step of the way on their journey through this world. They are always there, respecting each Starseed's decision to live and experience life on Earth for their own expansion and growth. This doesn't mean they have been abandoned. Quite the opposite. They are being watched over with love and patience. It's just that sometimes we aren't aware of their presence, but they are always there, waiting for the moment we become conscious of that unconditional support. Remember, we are never truly alone. Thanks to the extraordinary channeling gifts of Yared Sasakahana, a Taigateen starseed, we have been privileged with a connection that transcends the earthly and touches the stars. Yared, a medium and shaman, grew up in the magical land of Mexico. Enveloped from childhood in the invisible embrace of her ancestors, who guided her in awakening her exceptional abilities. Channeling, that sacred bridge of telepathy in its purest form, has been perfected by Yared to connect with guides and guardians of such high frequencies that only the most awakened soul can perceive them. These celestial beings facilitate communication so that the starseeds incarnated on Earth, those souls who have made pacts in the interlife, can reconnect with their cosmic families, ensuring that each bond is pure, deep, and full of meaning. Remember, within you also resides that sacred power to discover your own stellar connections. What you have witnessed and felt in this video is just a glimpse of the vast universe of possibilities that unfolds when you open yourself to what transcends the visible. Trust your intuition, that internal compass that always guides you toward enlightenment. Let your emotions be the beacon that illuminates your path. Continue exploring with an open heart, and allow your curiosity and free spirit to lead you toward the greatness that awaits you. Do not limit yourself to being just a spectator of other Starseeds' experiences. If you have reached the end of this video, it is because the light of a Starseed also shines within you. This is a call to your soul, a reminder that within you resides immense power and a deep connection with the cosmos. But it is your choice, your challenge, to discover who you truly are, to explore what you are made of, and to take control of your destiny. Do not let others write your story. Dare to be the author of your own existence, to reveal your essence, and to spread your wings in this vast universe. This is just the beginning of a journey of self-discovery and infinite expansion. The entire universe awaits you with open arms, ready to reveal its deepest secrets to you. Your journey toward greatness begins now.